there's a righteous anger. There's an anger toward immorality and injustice and ungodly behavior against wickedness. So we are to be kind to people, but we're not to be nice to evil. We're not to play stupid or ignorant to evil. We are to confront that with righteousness. But the warning here is don't allow the devil to manipulate your anger. There are people who get angry about what's going on in our culture, but then they cross the line and the devil is somehow able to manipulate a person to put a bit of root in them, to hold a grudge, or seek revenge. See, there are 4 types of anger. Let's talk about that. There's 4 types of anger. The first type of anger is rage. Rage is an anger that causes you to flurry about, to have exuberant expressions, to clench the jaw, to grind the teeth, to become very vocal, boisterous in words, to even call down curses. So if you see someone that's just cursing in rage, you know that person isn't working out righteousness. God does not use man's anger to righteousness. The second type of anger is fury. Now, fury is rage. It's really a stronger emotion of rage. It's a destructive form of rage. Fury is often leads to a depraved mind and delusional thoughts. This is when rage becomes violence. When a person is in fury, there's uncontrolled, without reserve violence. This is what happens in a mob riot, or when you see mobs, you see an uncontrollable fury. They begin raging, but then when it takes on fury, they become violent and very destructive. Now, those are wicked uses and forms of the emotion of anger. The first type of anger that is righteous is called indignation. Indignation is a righteous anger caused by witnessing or experiencing injustice, shame, or evil done toward innocence. When you see an injustice, you become indignant. You become motivated to correct the wrong. Now, the most righteous form of anger is actually called wrath. The Bible talks a lot about the wrath of God. What is that? Wrath is the godliest form of anger. It is an anger that responds to evil with pure judgment. It is an anger that literally cleanses the earth of evil. It's what motivated God to send the judgment of Noah's day. When every man's heart was inclined to evil, the earth required a baptism, a cleansing of the earth. So therefore, God allowed his wrath to come upon the earth. Now, for the righteous, he instructed to build an ark to get through that period. The same way with Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah, and there was actually 5 cities in that valley that were destroyed. But the larger cities were Sodom and Gomorrah, and they were very wicked. And God poured out his wrath, but what did he do? He pulled out the righteous before he poured out his wrath. And the same thing's going to happen in the end times. Before the wrath of God comes upon the earth, he will pull out the righteous. That's what we call the snatching away or the rapture.